So this is actually a very spontaneous video, but I think there's a lot to the release on the Nintendo Switch specifically for Sonic Colors Ultimate, and especially with the waves that it's making online in regards to, some performance issues and just the overall quality of this remaster. There's a lot to talk about because I just finished the game. Well, and we're gonna get to these thoughts. Let's do it. So I finished Sonic Colors Ultimate in almost one sitting. I clocked in about 5 hours. It's a shorter game, and of course Sonic games are usually shorter in general. But before I even get into the gameplay, I kind of want to talk about my purchase experience. And when it comes to my purchase, I actually had a few first impressions that I thought were pretty interesting, and was kind of pleasantly surprised by two things specifically. Number one, it came in this nice big box, right? That's usually reserved for collector's editions, right? Has some goodies in it, but it came in this nice big box for only $40. Now, I personally was only expecting the case and the cartridge, right? Just the game, and it came with this as just the normal release. Also, I was actually very surprised by the price tag. $40 for this game. Hey, I'm all for it, right? I'm so used to just spending $60 for games at this point, so anything under $60, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's a good deal. So I was pleasantly surprised by the $40 price tag, and kind of glad it was. But as soon as I got my hands on the actual box, I was kind of thrown off by how weightless and light it was. Honestly, it was kind of a joke. And then I opened it up and looked on the inside, and it was just so empty, just so much space unused. Like, look at this. Now, of course, it does come with the game case as well as this keychain. Now, all this to say, it coming in a big box and with a keychain is more than I actually thought it would come with. Again, I was only expecting the game and the case. So to get this big box was kind of a nice touch to the $40 price. But overall, it was just kind of odd. Again, it's super light. It comes with just this one keychain, a lot of unused space for this big box. I kind of question why that decision was even made, but it is what it is. Now, let's talk about the actual game, Sonic Colors Ultimate on the Nintendo Switch. And I'll be honest, I was really excited to jump into this game for a number of reasons. And I've only played two Sonic games in my life, and that was Sonic Forces on the Nintendo Switch and Sonic Adventure DX on the GameCube. And I enjoyed my time with both of them, and quite frankly, I really enjoyed Sonic Forces more than a lot of people did, and it left a good taste in my mouth to jump into Sonic Colors. And a lot of people mentioned upon its announcement for Sonic Colors Ultimate that it was actually a good Sonic game and a fan favorite, and honestly, I trusted that. But spoiler alert, I did not enjoy my time with Sonic Colors Ultimate. So let's talk about that. Honestly, number one, visually, it just was a bit inconsistent and confusing, and I don't just mean overall. In fact, I mainly mean the juxtaposition between the cutscenes and the actual gameplay. The main menu and the gameplay looked like an actual remaster. They looked good. But oddly enough, I was kind of confused that the cutscenes looked pretty bad, like not good. Honestly, they didn't look good at all and left me a bit confused on why this was really the case. To go along with the visual comparison, the audio comparison was also a little interesting. It was kind of confusing as well. It really did throw me off because in the actual gameplay, in the actual stages, the levels, the audio is normal, the audio is great actually. And when you actually get to the cutscenes, it is so unbalanced, the actual audio for the cutscenes are so lowered that I actually had to turn up with my controller the volume so that I actually could hear what's being said.
Come here.
No doubt, but now I'm not sure why we're here. This place looks totally harmless.
I don't know how that got through the entire development process to be released, and it was just so off balance when it comes to audio. I've never really had a situation like that before, so I don't know what went on there. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, right? Now, a few days before this game actually was released, there were some clips going around online, specifically where I saw it was Twitter, of some performance issues and just some overall just glitchy, buggy, terrible looking visuals when it came to this game. And to be completely honest, I didn't have any of those crazy off-the-wall experiences when it came to performance issues. For the most part, it ran fairly fine. Like, I didn't have any crazy glitches or any bugs that I experienced on the Nintendo Switch. The game's frame rate and visuals overall leave a lot to be desired. I think that just goes in general to say. But in my experience with the game playing it on the Switch, I didn't have any crazy performance issues. They weren't perfect by any means. But again, I didn't really have any crazy glitches or bugs. Now, I want to get into Sonic Colors gameplay and story from my perspective and personal opinion because there's a lot to be honest with. So let's jump into that. If I'm being completely transparent, I really don't know why Sonic Colors is a fan favorite or why many herald it as a good Sonic game. And I don't want to, I don't want to just straight up bash the game because, for the most part, it's a decent game. But overall, there's a lot of issues that I had with it. Now, this is a hot take for the video, but I personally enjoyed Sonic Forces way more than I enjoyed Sonic Colors. I remember having a good experience with that game. It was smooth, it was enjoyable, it looked good. It was just my first Sonic game and it left a good impression. This did not. And the first thing that comes to mind when it comes to Sonic Colors is the story, and this will be spoiler free, but the story, to really wrap it up and put it very simply, is just that. It was just overly simplistic, very lackluster, and just left a lot to be desired. It just felt very bare bones when it comes to the story. And now I know people don't play Sonic for its story, right? They play for the gameplay, but the story just was so bad and more than just bad, it was just really non-existent in my opinion. It was just surface level and left a lot to be desired. Now, one of the issues that I had when it comes to this game is the actual gameplay. I remember playing Sonic Forces and it being an enjoyable experience because it lived up, for the most part, to what Sonic is as a character and as a game. And that's, you go fast, you run, you go, and you just keep going. And there were so many start and stops when it came to this game. It really felt like I rarely was able to run free for any period of time. Kind of like if you have like a big fish in a very small fish tank, you can't swim, you can't be free, you just can't go. Now, to be fair, it wasn't non-existent, but the majority of the time I was just stopping to jump onto left and right platforms, or I was just having to slow down and get my timing right because the controls were so finicky. Which is another issue that I had. The controls seemed so finicky that whenever I would try to jump and get to the next area, it wouldn't register and I would just kind of fall. Overall, I didn't really have fun with the gameplay, unfortunately. And to go along with that, the game was actually a bit difficult as you moved on into the game, and not really in a good way. It was difficult mainly because the boss fights and even just many of the stages kind of overstayed their welcome and just kind of were dragged out when they really didn't need to be. Especially the boss fights. Many of the boss fights were just so dragged out and so slow. You really had to jump through monotonous hoops just to actually get to the boss. And of course, if you fight the boss and you end up dying with only one hit left, you start all the way back from the beginning just to jump through all those hoops just to get to the boss, and it's just so slow, right? There's kind of a formula to it. You maybe get 2 hits on the boss, maybe 3 hits on the boss, and then they move around and you have to get to the boss again, and it's just such a slow process. It really did affect the pacing of the game. I always enjoy checkpoints when it comes to boss fights just because no one wants to just go back to the beginning just to get to the boss again and just keep trying. And sometimes with boss fights, you kind of have to learn the pattern, learn how to strategize and execute when it comes to defeating a boss. So checkpoints are always helpful for me. Now, I know everyone doesn't agree with that and some have their personal preferences and some like the challenge, but I do not. I hate to say it, but Sonic Colors kind of put a bad taste in my mouth when it comes to Sonic games, to where I don't even know if I want to purchase another Sonic game or even give another Sonic game a try, especially when you hear the rumors. And it's not even really rumors, you just hear a lot of people say there's more bad Sonic games than there are good, and that's never a good thing. I'm starting to just think Sonic games are not for me, but then again, right, the next Sonic game, whenever, there's a trailer announced, I'll probably see it and be like, I have another itch to play a Sonic game again, even if it's over my own good. Overall, for those who would ask, is this game worth picking up, even on the Switch, I would say if you're a Sonic fan and you haven't played Sonic Colors, yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. But if you have never played a Sonic game and you want to jump into your very first Sonic game in the series, don't check this one out.